Hello, this is Divine Sunshine. So, excuse me, something in my throat. Communication. So we definitely know we're giving birth to something through our talking as well then. And I think it's probably also in our divine masculine energies. It's a little freedom here. It's it's more so on the left hand side. So I want to say, even in our divine feminine energies, like his divine master say, don't always say it's us. Divine feminine energies, we got to be able to find a voice. That means in our spirit. This is the month of April. April is about I am. And in the I am is really finding our voice to say, who are we? I believe that, again, one of the words that I've been finding that's been popping up, especially we're talking about career, because I had a young lady come to my classroom and she talked about pivot. And when the kids say, what does it mean to pivot? In dance, we know what it means to pivot. That's a one step where you take one step, 1 foot forward, you change and you shift your body weight to go back the same way that you were facing. And it's a turnaround. That's the pivot. Take one step, pivot on your other standing leg, and then take another step forward. That's the pivot. And so this is what, and the Spirit is bringing that to me too as well. So this is what Spirit is pretty much bringing forth, is understanding. Some of us is taking a step forward and find out, no, that ain't it. And then you pivot around and might be find yourself facing a whole new direction than you thought you were going. And this is in all areas. And this is what the month of April is going to bring, because we're moving into 5. Spirit told me this year, take the numbers of the months for what it is. And that means that, again, so we had 3, we were getting alignment. 1 is about the unity of ourselves and getting our intuition and our awareness together. 2 is about unity, and then 3 is about, again, which would be March, which is about getting into alignment. And 4 is really grounding into it. But 4 also means to balance things out, the energies, and using all of the 4 things, which is fire, some action, air, which is your thought, earth is really becoming more so in the physical manifestation of things, and water, and using your emotions, your body, to the physical thing. So now let's look and see, as far as when we're talking about what is the month of April, and the season of Aries too as well, which is all pretty much indignant of that too. What is it that this month of April is going to bring for us collectively? Whoa. Almost went into the trash heap. So this month, we are moving into potential. And understand at the bottom of the deck is transformation. So there is a massive transformation there is underneath there. That is the basis of, like I said, we're using all of the 4 energies, like the 11-11 power, to balance out the 4, which is to really get truly grounded. If you want to say, in some ways, you could say this is, again, in our twinness. This could be a potential of a new beginning, a great transformation for both twins as well, or they or them. I said we got to change the pronouns to they and them, or, or us, okay, or we. So these are the things that we have to understand, that in that we house both energies, and them within us has to really make sure we find a balancing out, that the I am, which is what this Aries really brings to the table of the astrology, and that really that spiritual balancing and that fire within to draw with what's going on, that spiritual heart burning, or that yearning, or that flame of eternal flame about what you want to do and bringing it forth. We have to find some balance to that. We know that, again, when we talk about it in Aries, there is a drive to push things forth. We're really like it's the cardinal side. We get things started, we initiate it, can go out there and be pioneers and don't care about if anybody has discovered it. We have discovered it, and that's all that matters. However, we have to kind of watch that and make sure that there is a certain balance to that. That is just not it's a team me and not a team we in that. So this month of April brings that energies. So when we're talking about the overall energies, what are we dealing with collectively? Or this us that's on this channel, that's subscribed, that's watching, what is it doing? So in our thinking, as far as what we're observing, we're moving into the energies of understanding that we've got to get more knowledge. And when I'm looking at this, it's just this knowledge about ourselves, about our heart, because this whole card is in green. And this means to me, when we're thinking about what the heart's desire, the yearning and wanting, we're now getting an understanding that we have to have more of a true knowledge about things. Some of us might have to go back to school to actually get an understanding. We might have to get some books. We might have to take some classes, do some training. When I see this book, to me, this book is something really a tangible, something that's got to be in the physical world of doing that. But it can also mean some more knowledge and understanding of a discernment of who we are too as well, because I see transformation here. I see the butterfly here, which means we are transforming so we can become this potential here too, because this looks like almost like a volcano erupting, like what's going on today. Interested. Didn't I have problems with my throat? This came out. So we have to also learn how to express this too as well. We got the Archangel Michael card, the fifth chakra, which is our throat. What are we saying to manifest? I'm being really guided to say that we've got to watch the words that we are using. And I said that in the other fireside chat, which is watch what we're saying to ourselves, watch what we're speaking and manifesting outside. It is the I am. So we really might have to watch what are we putting behind the I am statements here lately. Really truly understand we want to, here's a 3, we want to be in alignment. It's 39, so we can end these cycles. And in order for us to end these cycles, we have to do what? In order for us to get to a new timeline or to change and go to a more higher frequency, we've got to watch the frequency we are in. We got to be more in touch, in tune with more positivity. And then we also have to watch the way we're speaking to ourselves and how we're putting what behind that I am too as well. We have to also, again, standing in our power. We have here the third chakra, which is our solar plexus. What healthy boundaries are we putting up? What are we saying to others to let them know? I've kind of felt that very strongly, because sometimes I feel like it comes from nowhere, and I might be like, no. Like the other day, I was putting a boundary up. It's like, somebody was coming into my space, and like they always do this, and then I was like, no, you hold on and wait. I don't like that, because it always makes me feel, I had that feeling, I could tell when I'm giving my power away, and I'm like, there go that feeling again. I was like, no, this time I'm not going to do it. I don't come in your space when you doing X, Y, and Z in this space. So why are you coming in here and taking over and doing X, Y, Z in this space when I'm in it? Wait. And so this is the same thing. Again, we're doing this to align, to stand in our power, noticing when we're giving our power away, so that we can be able to, I see the number 37, stand in alignment, so that again, stand in alignment, so that we can be able to be spiritually, have spiritual completion to this, to help us to be able to stand in our power. It's, to me, it's to solidify it more and to confirm that we are standing in our power when we do that. Because I want to go back to that, when we speak the words I am or speak the words to other people. No, I'm not going to do this. No, I don't feel comfortable doing that. That helps for us to also, I see 39 was back there when I talked about the throat chakra. 3 and 9 equals 12. Helps to put things in divine order when we speak things into existence. The next thing here we have here, which is the third eye chakra, which is again the 6th chakra. Here represented, say, Archangel Metatron. To me, is being able to see beyond the illusion, see where I want to go, being able to be in alignment with that very thing, and making sure that, again, I'm speaking it into existence, that I'm standing in my power, doing things in my movement, in my divine masculine energies, that are making sure that I am protecting it. Even in my divine feminine energies, making sure that what I'm observing is aligning with me, making sure that I am standing in my power too, and observing when those moments when I'm not doing that, and checking myself when I'm not, in a nice, loving way to say, hey, that's not we agreed to, we are going to. And even when the days that we don't, being loving, and we might find ourselves checking them, giving them a peace of mind, that we still are not hard on ourselves and say, hey, okay, we understand, maybe that time they might needed to hear it that way. That's okay. And this is where we are. Because right now, again, for our potential, is really, to me, it's all about going within. And that's what the month of April in the Aries energy is about that, what's going in within, so that we can be able to have that without. Aries, like myself, are really, as much as a hellfire and brimstone, people like to say a fiery sign of all of the fire signs. We're extremely fiery, but then we like our peace. And so in order to protect that peace, we will make sure that we will eliminate things. That's why we're probably as fiery as we are. It's like, hey, no, we have to take time out to be able to go within. So all of this stuff that we're doing, we go within so we can be able to check. And it's interesting enough, I did hear somebody say about that we're all about now is when we're going within. A lot of meditations now is asking for us. Why? Because we can be able to really cut off the world and really truly understand and hear what is the direction or the instructions that either ourselves, our higher self, our guides, ancestors, galactical family, whomever that you believe and answer to and help you in understanding as well. That is, because it's all of it. And I know I heard one saying that, if you got all them different people, I'm a little skeptical of that. I heard a reader say that. But what kind of chopped that off for me is when I had a past life regression session with one of my clients, and my client was like, she asked that question, how many people what is out there in existence in the universe? What is there life beyond this? And there, underneath her higher self, and say it's 7 billion of us out here. We're in all different shapes of form and non-form. I know that came across. There go your confirmation. If it chimes, it's divine. So that stopped me from listening to that guy, of thinking that he was right. I don't throw the baby out the bad water, because his little readings are kind of good as well. But when he said that, I said, something about that in my stomach don't feel right. It don't hit my gut right. I think you're a little off on that estimation. There are different things. We can't hear it as long as you ain't hearing other kind of stuff that's talking to you. But again, sometimes it's like, I don't think that came from me. I don't think that came beyond me. Some of this stuff that I know that it ain't come from me. On that one, this is beyond my knowing, and so understand that that's why we meditate, so we can be able to truly understand that. And I'm seeing stairs help us to ascend, help us. I see this little here, the labyrinth, to know the true path we must go, although we might have like twists and turns, cut-offs, challenges, Now where I'm in it, because they made us kind of think that when we talk about divineness, like you're not supposed to have any challenges, no things that come along. And now I'm training myself to say, hey, just because things come or happen doesn't mean you did anything wrong, doesn't mean anything is not, this is not divine, because again, challenges and things will come. That's just part of, again, about earth and being here. And this is called a school. Earth is a teachable planet, and I say this all the time, but sometimes I have to remind my own self that. So now let's look and see what's happening as far as what's the deal. What does this month want to bring to us as far as in our head space? What's being in our head space, our mind space, about some things that's happening here right now? Buy the book and chop wood. Okay, so when I see buy the book, to me it's about, again, some things, it's a process when I see buy the book. Okay, and understanding that sometimes no matter how much we might want to jump the line, especially when we talk about divine timing, and we're like, oh, divine timing is almost became a curse word on some of us, like, no, and we have to truly understand that things have when we talk about spiritual growth, there is a process to it. And we might not know what the next move needs to be, but we do understand that sometimes in the past we might have been a fool about some things. We might have kind of clowned around, not be serious, or some things that we had been really fumbling around. We weren't really showing our best. But now where we are now here, we understand that we have to now protect ourselves. I see a shield on this elephant. Nostalgic, and I always remember, like when we talk about like elephants have very good memories for things very long, about some things. And again, we're talking about the memories and nostalgia about some things. Understand, now we're at the point that building upon what we know in the direction that we're going. Although this looks like, to me, it's almost could be like a fool here. We're getting ready to make this fool's journey. We also have to protect ourselves. We have to protect ourselves where we are, and we have to protect ourselves to where we go as far as our future. I'm seeing with this baby, with this potential too. That's why I said we got to put up healthy boundaries too as well. And I see the number 11 here, which again is balancing. We have to chop wood too as well. Chop wood, we got to sweep. Some of us got to really actually, and that's why I said I was going to do this week while I'm on spring break, actually start getting rid of stuff that no longer serves physically. Some things, so we could create that space, and that space lets the universe know you're creating room for great things. Rather it's physically, you got to create that space. Whether it's in your mind, you got to create that space, or in your heart, you got to create that space. Chopping wood and getting rid of things that no longer serve, if they're not filling in and helping you with that peace of mind, or that peace that you have, and you feel like you like Medea, you got to go get a peace so you can protect your peace, then they got to go. Okay, and so this is where we actually are right here, because we're opening up the doors and sweeping all that energy. I think about James Ron Prague. He had said something to that. He said he likes to take like a bowl of water by the door, and he actually takes a candle or something, or some sage, and actually like takes it and just really does a sweep motion to everything back to the door. Like he stops at the top of the house and he goes through every room, and it's like he takes that negativity and he keeps on sweeping it from room to room to room till it goes to the front door, to that bowl, and he feels like that water is like a symbolism of taking all that energy and pouring it out into the earth and letting Mother Earth take that as well into, and again taking all that energy that's been put into that water. And we know that if you've seen documentaries about that you can put energy into water and it can take in that. That's why I said with me, I'm very heavily into listening to frequencies and things, because again, we're 75% water. So why can't we listen to music and things like that? That's why it's very important, especially when you talk about sounds and things of that nature, what you're listening to, because you're also programming your body to follow in suit too as well with that. So just keep that in mind. That's just an extra tidbit. So right now in our mind space, they want us to really understand that sometimes things is a process. It's linear. It's got to connect. You got to be willing to take that fool's journey, or act a fool, or be a fool and not knowing, but understanding that as you're going along, you got to protect, and you might not know where your next step goes, but you got to keep on walking. But at the same time, you got to chop wood and get rid of things that no longer serves in your mind. So get rid of those things. And some ways mentally, how you can be able to do that. When you move things in the physical world, it helps to make that connection that, okay, we're creating space. We're creating space for things to manifest in our tangible world. So that's one thing. When we're talking about what's happening in our heart space, the matters of the heart in the month of April, clear. Worth waiting for. Okay, and this is interesting enough. This has both energies, the divine feminine and the divine masculine energies, helping to understand that for and that balance. So when we talk about the divine feminine energies, is again, she's crossing over here. Stomach is here. That means that solar plex, which we talked about earlier. The cards caught that. And then she's got right here is almost a little bit of the throat and of the heart. So I would say for that, we've got to wait. It's worth waiting. We've got to get more anchored and grounded in our solar plexus, in our throat chakra, and in our heart. Those are the three things in our feminine energies. As far as what we're observing, what again of our being, sitting in who we are. In the divine masculine energies, worth waiting for, we've got to work with, to me, it looks like it's just all heart right here. It's heart because it's doing this. Okay? Heart and a little bit in the throat. So those things too is how we're communicating. Those are the two areas that we have to work in the divine feminine and masculine. So in them energies show that we have to work on both of those areas. Divine timing is a work in your love life. To me, when I hear divine timing, that means to me that energy, source, God, is actively working on it. It ain't like they just put, like you go to to the Social Security office and they give you, and they're talking about, okay, I filled out my paperwork. That's nice. You get the paperwork, they put it to the side. It's like, okay, next. Like, what, you ain't even gonna look at it, you just take the paperwork. Yeah, it's gonna take 75 business days till we get to it, and somebody get back to you about if you filled out the forms right or whatever like that. And so, you're like, okay. So either way it goes, it's still a process. Remember what I said about that earlier, about in your head space. Things have to connect. Again, you have to be willing to initiate and take that fool's journey and be a clown and not knowing what's going on. Or maybe know that the things that you had did in the beginning might have been foolish, and you have to practice forgiveness and then protect yourself from that point on. But understanding, when I'm looking at this, is the understanding that, again, divine timing is at play. Remember what I said divine timing is. Divine timing is, again, when you have to wait until every person that has a role or a place or a position into what you want as far as being your highest good and the highest good for all involved. Because you got to remember, again, that spirit and source is, or God is involved with that, and he wants it to be the best possible outcome for all that's involved. No matter how it might look to the other person, this person might say, well, this divorce ain't no good for me. That's because you looking at it from a physical point of view, but really God is saying, if you look down the line, this releases you to really truly be with the one that you want to be, the love of your life. But you don't see it. But I've got to, again, everything has got to be working out in divine order for your person or for you in the situation, although you might not see it. So again, everybody has to. So in that scenario, again, your person or them or they might be, we might be ready. They or them might be ready. However, it's got to be a we. I've got to work on myself to make sure that, again, that they are, I'm ready to receive them. Because if I'm still dealing with them 60 hefty bags, I'm not ready. Like I said, I got to get some things moved around and shifted and get rid of to be able to receive them. Okay, if I'm still harboring this stuff, then again, divine timing is not divine timing. They might say, I'm ready to divorce. The person they with is ready to divorce, but I'm not ready because I'm still harboring it and still angry at them for what they had did. Everybody got to be in alignment and ready, or somewhere within me, even though surface illusion, surface level, I might not seem like I'm ready. But when they come somewhere within me, they say, okay, soon as he or she makes the move towards her, she's going to be ready to receive. Don't worry about how it looks on the outside. She's ready for them. Because everything, once that happens, she going to hurry up and get things together and move things out. So we ain't got to worry about it. So the prime timing is now. She ready. As the words as Tiffany has. She ready. She ready. She ready. Don't worry about how she look on the outside. She ready. Trust and believe. That's going to make her do that last final step that she needs to do. Okay. So that's what we mean. A lot of things. Okay. Might be the person, they ready, we ready, or the closer is not ready, but filing of the papers, like him married to the best man's wedding, filing of the papers that she had did on Tay Diggs' character, I forgot what his name is. He couldn't really see the light, but she's like, no, I got to go to Ghana. I got to go to Africa with the baby because I feel like this is where my heart belongs. Going there, him saying, I'm not ready. He wanted to be a Pulitzer Prize writer. If she would have stayed there with him, with the child in the U.S., you have to see it, the final chapter, he would not have been ready to write that book. It took for her to say, I'm ready to go after my dreams, to go into Africa and to file these papers because you don't seem like you are moving and understand to stop choosing yourself and being selfish in this marriage. I'm going to choose and be selfish on this one. Move out. And by her taking the baby and doing that, that created him to have time with self, and for him to go on ahead and write that Pulitzer Prize book. Didn't seem at the moment like that was the highest good, but it was the highest good for all involved because it pushed him to go to where he needs to go. That's divine timing. When she just pulled, say, no more. It created a chain of events of dominoes, and then everybody had to get ready. The little girl, the little baby girl had to get ready to leave dad in the States and create another dimension to their relationship, and her going over there and going after her happy really was a good role model for her daughter to see that when you're not happy, I'm talking to somebody, and you choose your own happiness, be brave enough to stand up for yourself and vocalize it and say, I'm not happy. I'm going to go out and do something, which is go file for a divorce because this is not working. I love you. The greatest thing that came out of this is our child. That's it. And I'm gone. And so that right there is where some of it, where the divine timing is a good example of how it all comes at the play. Because again, her being ready helped to catapult him to being his form of his divinity and of his greatness. Excuse me. Okay, somebody got released that. It must have triggered somebody there. They're like, okay, you hitting a little too close for me. So let's look and see what Spirit wants us to do. Clear. So in month of April, what are some tips or some things that Spirit wants us to... Thank you. Got a little bit there. Let's see. That kind of spooked me a little bit here. Oh, wow. Okay. So some of the things that's going to be happening, I told you, I didn't think we were I didn't get that feeling like for some of us we're fully baked. So we got the 9 of Pentacles here, and which to me is ending cycles in the world and becoming, I'm seeing this owl here, or is this a dove? It's a dove, to create peace where we are in the world. And I'm looking here, and this is a feminine, in our divine feminine energies, in our state of being, and what we're observing in the world, helping us to end those cycles about, again, the material world, the things that we are in right now, seeing, so that we could truly have peace. Okay. Then we have the King of Wands here, which is in our divine masculine energies again. And it's interesting, we got a flame here, but it looks like a crown. So to me, again, in order for us to move into that rulership, it was interesting. I was watching a sermon from a gentleman talking about the kingdom, and how he stated that, again, that when they said kingdom, that source or God has ownership of everything, and he gave us dominion. Dominion means to rule over. Dominion, ruling, means to set a standard, to rule, like rulers, assessment standards, okay, rules and regulations. So to me, in this King of Wands, wands means in our actions or making things happen, we've got to set some standards that's going to help us to stand in our power, or to do that solar plexus actions, which is, again, standards also means what I'm telling you as far as boundaries, what are good, what you can and cannot do. We've got to hold the torch for that, which is actions, be it fired to serve ourselves in our I am things, because I'm seeing here with this line about the ego or the pride. The ego is good because the ego helps to push us where we need to go. And however, we got to make sure that we temper that. It's all about temperance too. That 4 also represents in the month of April. The month is also 4 is temperance, balancing, tempering the ego as far as how much our drive and how we're driven, especially when we're dealing with that Aries energies, and going after and getting what we need. Remember, again, maybe put that ego, like when I look at this, I interpret, put that ego to the background, in the background again, or let that courage, also another way is to help to support you as you're moving, and have that courage and that energy and that flow to push you and counterpoint you to where you need to go to, and have heart to as well to go. So this is also what is being led here. We have the 10 of Swords. Swords is, again, is for me is also conflict of the mind. So again, when we talk about these swords here, these things are emotions too as well. So we have to look as far as what I'm seeing his mind, because we got these birds here too. We got to walk away for those negative Nellies, those peddler bells, those things that are really no longer serving us in our spirit, because as we're getting in alignment with the I am, making sure that we're talking to ourselves right, making sure that again, where we are looking at things, people, places, or things, or the situations that no longer serve us, we've got to move into that energies of 10 of Swords, of walking away throughout the spirit. To me, if we start checking out on people in the spirit, some kind of way it's going to sow within, so without, it's going to start manifesting. And you can see that. I've seen that in relationships. Like, I ain't really didn't file the papers, but even in the series man's best man's wedding, you can see the wife kind of like, okay, whatever. She tried a little bit, she compromised, and then afterwards, like, okay, we back to the same cycle again. So I'm just gonna slowly start checking out, you know, to give you the message that I don't want you. And next thing I know, she was filing the papers. You know, it kind of helps to kind of solidify. So once you're doing what's the work within and start doing the things that, again, and manifesting it with the third eye too as well, as to what you actually want to see manifest, and start using it inwardly so it can manifest outwardly. This is what it's saying. There's also going to be a tower. This tower, to me, again, is a tower of, to me, a spirit bringing on, so that, again, we might have something of the spirit. There is another little breakdown that helps us to really, truly get an understanding in the month of April, so we can be able to, that I'm getting kind of guided to say some of us might have already experienced it. We might be doing like Les Brown. We're either walking away from the tower moment, or we're walking towards it. You kind of will know if you've had that moment or you have not had that moment in the month of April. This is going to be able to help you. This is the last little kind of almost like push, giving birth to this change that's really going to be set forth and moving in the month of May, as far as this one. So again, there is a thing, some crumbling, again, moment of a breaking down of, so you can have a breakthrough, they're saying. Or this time moment, you could say a breakthrough. Let's put it that way, because I'm looking at this and how the squirrel is. Squirrel, to me, looks like you've been doing the work, because squirrels do the work. They go and they gather the nuts, everything for winter, so that, again, they have food over the winter. So to me, when I see this squirrel representing, it's like you've been doing the spiritual work. You've been gathering, you've been preparing, whatever, for this moment you're going to be ready for. And it's going to help to create this great transformation, because I'm seeing all these butterflies. This is about the third butterfly that came here, and especially when you got this lightning strike, that means spirit is going to bring this on. This is not you bringing it on because you're being hard-headed. Don't know that a hard head brings on a soft ass. This is not that. This is spirit bringing it, because it's like you need this one more lesson to help you to move you along, because it wants you to move you into this self-love here, really having ownership of your heart, ownership of who you are going to be able to share this cup of love with, who you shared with. Because now, to me, when I see this, you understand the value and the power that you hold within, with this beautiful heart that you own and that you have, that everybody is not privy. Like they said, your presence, think of your presence as a present to everybody. Everybody is not to partake of or to be able to behold the present or be able to unwrap that. Your present is valuable, and seriously it is, because even I'm learning, even on this journey, that sometimes I don't have to even do anything. Just me being a channel and let the energy and the work of God or source or whoever, that, again, that what I was sitting here to do can just do the work for me, just merely just being in the environment or in the surroundings. It changes and it shifts things. I don't have to do anything. First I was thinking, oh, I'm a light worker, I'm supposed to do this, peace, love, be like the Pope, giving sign of crosses, baptizing people and all that stuff. But he say, hey, whoa, you ain't got to do all that. All you look at this, all you got to do is just be there. We got it from that point on. What you saying, how you act, what you do. Sometimes you ain't even got to say nothing. Just your presence and your essence and your energy and your frequency that you carry can change things up. You ain't got to do nothing. Okay, so this is what you understand. And so understanding that you are a your presence is a present to the world. Okay. So this is really the understanding where you are, and this is the feminine. In your feminine energies, how you are, what you're being, and what you're observing. Observe that you are that again, your love is valuable and your self-worth. and look and see about how your presence adds value to the people that you are. And if they don't recognize the presence that you are, then you need to do this. Okay? Moving on. Then I want you to understand here, you've got, again, you're moving into the energies of the Nine of Wands. To me, when I'm looking at this look here, this is again about what I said, creating the boundaries. Creating the boundaries, knowing who you are, standing in your power and keeping watch. This looks like, to me, is like, okay, yeah, you can step right here to this. Let me kind of check you out. Let me put the third eye check on you. See where you coming about and what's going on. Because again, in our actions, we're about ending cycles. And this is what the month of April is bringing, is an ending of cycles to a lot of things that you have brought into. I think it's that one, the garden and the gate. Understand you have the key to walk in, but you have to understand that you got the key to lock things out. Two, it is a two-way system. In some kind of way, I guess in the spiritual world, we didn't thought about that. We like, oh, we supposed to let everything in because we divine, and that's what Christ would do and Jesus would do and all that stuff. But we have to remember that again, that Jesus was around there telling folks who belonged, who didn't belong in certain places. So what's the difference on that? I think we've kind of gotten out. That's why I say we need to revisit our spirituality. Okay. We got to, I see 4044 when I say we got to, and I mean stand in the balance. We got to kind of revisit that again about what we stand for and what our religion, what is our own religion. We create our religion. We create our beliefs about how we go about practicing our spirituality. That's what religion is. How do you practice your spirituality in the tangible ways of doing things? It's not that you got to do this so many rosaries and so many of this and that and that. You got to do this or you damned to hell. It's not about that. It's about what is it that you do as far as your religion. Religion means a habit or something that you do habitually or over and over again. It's a process or a regimen to get you into your spiritual place. What do you do to do that? And again, that's something that we got to kind of go back and revisit it. Here comes the flame again. We got a circle here. And to me, when I look at this is again a circle of life. Again, it's like the wheel representing that. What's the ending of the cycle that we got to end here as well? And we got here, we got these 5 of swords. It's again, this thinking and our divine masculine energies. To me, this is like, again, it's that talking. Watch again. I told you that the April brings in the vibration of positive affirmations and self-talk. And this is really confirming what I've heard also. And again, this right here lets you know that, again, we've got to stop that negativity talk that I'm not doing right, I'm not doing this. And even if I'm not doing right, be kind to yourself. Okay, well, maybe I didn't do it right. Maybe I talked a little too much on one subject on the video that I shouldn't do. But you know what? Somebody might needed to hear it that way. Maybe they needed me to go that long on that subject so they could truly get an understanding of what it meant. Okay, so again, it's we've been saying this all along, but I think now we click it because I think we're tired of beating ourselves up like this. To me, this look like an agony. It's like, oh my God, again, stop it. This is madness. This to me is a point it's getting to the point to ourselves and our divine masculine energies. Is like we're looking and seeing what we're manifesting just purely off of our thinking, and we're coming to the point that we're saying, okay, it's got to stop. This madness has got to stop. This is what the month of April is, because we're about this temperance and balancing of things here. And then also in our feminine energies too as well. Oh my God, look at all these swords here. But it's interesting enough, we got a balance here of energies. So in our divine feminine energies, where is it that, again, that we've been thinking this kind of way and it's made us stuck, made us feel trapped, that we can't move? It's like, to me, this is almost remind me of those infrared sensors that no matter which way I turn or I think, that again, I can't make a move here because it's always something that's going to be stopping, and that's illusions. But interesting enough, she's blindfolded. Now, really, to me, and although she can't see, but she really could take that from a different vantage point and look at this, say, although I can't see, But if I rely on my third eye, I can see what's going on happening in the physically to be totally different than what's actually being showed in view. Wasn't there some movie that was out there? I don't think it was Bird. I don't know why I'm thinking about Bird Box. Was some movie that was in, and like again, the person was seeing the world a whole different way through their eyes, but really in actuality, like the world was like really like what's it like the apocalypse world, but the way they was viewing it was totally different in the eyesight, you know. And so that's what you got to kind of do. That they say we've got to get a hold on these illusions, this negative Nelly, this negative thinking, and that is why we have to, in the month of April, balance and temperance that out so that we are truly hearing the true voice. That's why I say we've got to get again to watch it to the voices on the outside, the media, what's being told to us. Maybe start finding some more days to shut down. I've even found myself, sometimes I come home, I don't listen to nothing. I'm either I might be listening to music, working on my mission, or listening, reading a book on my phone or something like that. We're going to have to find out us in the spiritual world. We're going to have to kind of find ourselves kind of like detracting from the world in some ways, and really truly starting to get in the line with the voice that we have within. And this is where I think that we kind of really truly are getting into right now, which is to help us to really truly get aligned with the voice of who we are, because we might be getting too oversensitized, especially what's going on. You can even see that in the earth is saying the same thing. We're having these tornadoes and earthquakes and stuff like that. It's like I'm really trying to start purification all over and cleaning up in the way that I can as in Mother Earth and Gaia and that energies too as well. So we need to kind of take heed, the same thing. Like you say, well, my God, she's destroying and, you know, killing lives like that again. But it's again to clear the land. And I think we need to also just follow suit and follow what Spirit is doing and guiding through what's going on through Earth and what's showing us in the physical. Okay, all right, there, as always, thank you so very much. Make sure you hit the like a notification bell to always get all of the notifications of what I am putting out here too as well, because you know I'm on here, I'm guided on as needed, so that again, that when I come on here, it's intentional. It's not me just throwing up readings just to be throwing up. That again, you get to it when you're able to, you read it when you're able to, or to listen to it when you're ready to, and knowing that I'm always here. Okay, all right, there, as always. And then Friday is my birthday, so again, this is my birthday month. So again, take time, enjoy the view, take out the trash, the 60 hefty bags. Really start now in the month of April, really getting really clearing out some things, again, subconsciously, consciously, in the physical, and get ready to start anew, because definitely in the month of May, we talk about changes as well. All right, then, as always, go out there and be the love and be the change. As always, stay uplifted, stay motivated, stay sending love, and stay, and Namago. Love you. Till next time.